You may not recognize Stephen Huneck's name off the bat, but we'll bet that you recognize his art. His iconic woodcuts and figures have become part of the American cultural landscape. Huneck hails from Vermont, but is in Maine for an event at Planet Dog tomorrow, which is, by the way, Take Your Dog to Work Day. Huneck stopped by our studio earlier today, and we started out by talking about how a man trained in antique picking, that means going into old farmhouses and homes and making finds, got into dog art.
I did this carving, and a big gallery from Madison Avenue, New York, bought it, and they started pursuing me to represent me in their gallery. And I hadn't done that much carving. That was my first carving. And so I've got this big gallery saying, come on, we're going to represent you. And
where's your body of work?
Where's your body of work? And I go, well,
I had a few.
Let me do some more and show you. But they, well, you don't need to. We know. So I said to myself, my God, this is a chance for me to do what I really want to do in life. And I said, well, then what is the subject matter of what I'm going to do? And I started thinking, and I go, well, wait a minute. I really love dogs. So if I do dogs, that's something that I can really obsess on and have a good life doing.
Did you have any idea? Okay, so that was 1980. So that was 28 years ago, almost 30 years ago. Did you have any idea what you would tap into?
No idea at all. None.
Do you often think about that? Like, wow.
Well, I live in a very small town in Vermont, St. Johnsbury. And I've lived in the same house for over 30 years with my wife, Gwen.
And your dogs.
And my dogs, of course.
Sally is here.
Yes.
This is just one of your dogs. You have three?
Yes.
And Sally, by the way, we should point out, is a boy.
Salvador Doggy.
I love it. I love it. So you've been living in the same house, and the decor is interesting because it's really your own gallery.
It's my doggy art. It's my I do anything and everything. I want to surround myself with things that make me feel good. So I've done it. My lamps, my chairs, everything.
Really? The furniture?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I make a lot of furniture.
The thing that fascinated me when I was reading, there's a couple of things that fascinate me. Being a dog lover first,
yeah.
The artwork itself fascinates me because I think you capture what we love about dogs. But that you were self-taught.
Yes.
So you didn't go to a design school, you didn't get an art degree?
I didn't get an art degree. I basically just started doing things on a very primitive level and then just have taught myself what I needed to learn on how to do it. And basically just being obsessive has brought me down all these corridors.
How so? Because some people describe you as a sculptor, but the term I read, the term you use is hand carver.
Yeah, I carve by hand, where I don't use machines. I use chisels and knives.
And wood.
And wood. Mm-hmm. Right. I carve right out of wood.
And this sculpture is called Sally.
This is...
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Tiny.
This is Tiny, right. This is little Tiny Tim.
Modeled after a Great Dane.
Right. Great Dane that came and visited me. So I could really use the Great Dane as my inspiration.
So here you are, you're rolling along, and in 1994, you fell down a flight of stairs, and you were in a coma for 2 months.
Yes.
And at this point, your career was, you had several books out already, your work is well known, and you were in a coma, and you had to relearn everything, including walking.
Right.
So you had to relearn how to do the art.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it was really difficult, as you can imagine. But it was one of those things, it like cleaned my slate. I lost my memory, and I was like a rebirth experience where I saw the life through brand new shiny eyes and sort of relearned everything again, which was a good thing. You
and I were talking just before we started on air that you say the number one thing about dogs that they teach us is to live in the moment.
They do.
And is that one? Do you think that's a major realization after going through what you went through with the coma?
It's one of them, yeah. And my dogs were a big part of the healing process because I had to learn to walk again. I mean, I couldn't even stand up. I couldn't turn a doorknob, and they showed so much patience and care and concern for me that it really tied the total bond to dogs and myself.
At times it seems that you're almost canine.
My wife says I bark at her a lot.
I think your most famous book is My Dog's Brain. And my favorite one in here is the one, They Know When You Need Love.
Yes.
What would you say is, if you had to pick one piece of art, and I know that's like pick your favorite child, or your favorite dog in your case, what would you say to you is the most poignant?
That's a tough one, but I would say love is give and take. Because that's the basic relationship we have with everybody. It can't just be me, me, me. It's got to be you and me, you and me. And if you're willing to give latitude to people, you'll do fine in life.
Stephen Huneck has his own gallery in Vermont, as well as a dog chapel, and of course canine companions are welcome. He will be signing copies of his 7 books at Planet Dog on Marginal Way in Portland from 3 to 4:30 tomorrow. Planet Dog is also holding a Dogs at Work festival tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30 at Tommy's Park in Portland. For more information on the festival or Stephen Huneck's artwork, gallery, or dog chapel, you know where to go, the 207 section of our websites. And Stephen Huneck shared some other fascinating and quirky tidbits with us. That's the subject of tonight's 207 blog. To check it out, click the blog tab on the top of our website on the homepage, WCSH6.com.